My parents kicked me out when I was 14. Not because I stole. Not because I did drugs, but because I got a C in algebra. Yeah, that's the story. That's how my life really began. On a cold November night, with a trash bag full of clothes, a backpack, and nowhere to go. I'm Ethan. I'm 27 now, and I run a six-figure company. But back then, I was just a terrified kid with bruised knees, holding on to a failing report card like it was a death sentence. My parents, Robert and Linda, were obsessed with grades. They didn't see me as their son. I was a project, a competition, something to polish and present to their friends. Look at how perfect our daughter is, they'd say about my sister, Claire. And Ethan? Well, he's trying. Trying, that word followed me for years. When I was little, things were okay. I brought home A's, sometimes B's, and they smiled. We'd go for ice cream, play board games on weekends. But by the time I hit middle school, Claire had become the family's golden child. Straight A's, debate trophies, student council. I was just the shadow that made her shine brighter. Every report card was an execution. Dad would sit at the kitchen table with two folders, hers and mine. He'd slide mine across the table and sigh like it physically hurt him to look at me. How is it even possible, Ethan? Your sister studies in the same house, same parents, same school. What's your excuse? I tried, Dad. No, you didn't try. You never do. Then Mom would step in, her voice cold and flat. No video games. No friends. No allowance. Until your grades are back up, and that was it, no warmth. No talk about why I was struggling. Just punishment. At first I tried harder. Stayed up late, skipped meals, studied until my head hurt. But every time my grades dipped, the punishments got worse. They took my phone, my computer, even my pillow once, said it was a distraction. By freshman year of high school, I wasn't learning anymore. I was surviving. They'd make me kneel in the living room for hours. Sometimes Mom would stand in front of me with her arms crossed, whispering, "You're embarrassing us. You'll end up flipping burgers if you don't fix yourself." Funny thing, flipping burgers would have been a vacation compared to that house. I remember one night, I must have been 13. I sneaked into the garage and found my old skateboard. It was covered in dust. Like every happy memory I wasn't allowed to touch. I rolled it out. Just once down the driveway. The wind hit my face, and for 5 seconds I felt alive again. Then the porch light turned on. Dad stood there in his robe, holding my grades in one hand and my phone in the other. He didn't yell, he just said, "Maybe the streets will teach you what school can't." At the time, didn't know what he meant. A few months later, I did. Freshman year. I failed algebra. F-, I didn't even know that grade existed. When I got home, Dad was waiting with the door wide open. My report card was already on the kitchen counter. Mom's face was blank, like she'd already deleted me in her head. "You think this is funny?" "No." "You think this is a game?" "I'm sorry, pack your things." "What?" "You heard me. Pack your things and get out." I thought he was bluffing. He wasn't. They gave me 20 minutes. Mom didn't say a word. Claire stood in the hallway, frozen, holding her books like a shield. I looked at her one last time. "Don't let them do this to you." "Ethan, just apologize." "For what?" "For being me." I walked out the front door with a trash bag full of clothes and a half-dead phone. The door clicked behind me, and that sound still lives in my nightmares. The first night was hell. It was late, cold, and I didn't have anywhere to go. I slept on a park bench under a flickering streetlight, the kind of light that buzzes like it's alive. I remember looking up at the sky, whispering, "Guess I'm free now, huh?" Freedom never felt so empty. The next morning I walked into town. I went from store to store asking if anyone was hiring. I didn't have a resume, didn't even have clean clothes. Most people just looked at me like I was trouble. But then I found this tiny beauty shop downtown, Rosie's Glam. The owner, a woman in her 40s with red hair and way too much perfume, asked, "You ever sell makeup before, kid?" "No, ma'am, but I can sell anything," she laughed. "Oh, yeah? Sell me this lipstick." I looked her dead in the eye. "That color would look killer on you." "It says you're the boss, not the assistant," she grinned. "You start today. That was my first job. $10 an hour." plus commissions if I sold enough. She let me crash in the back room after shifts, on a foldable cot, next to boxes of blush and perfume samples. It wasn't much, but it was mine. The funny thing is, the grocery store my parents owned, that punishment they forced me into as a kid, actually trained me for this. I knew how to talk to customers, read people's faces, make them laugh, make them buy. I didn't need algebra for that. Weeks turned into months. I started loving the job. Talking to people made me realize how much life I'd missed locked inside my parents' house. One customer even said, "You've got a natural salesman's charm." Kid, I didn't know what that meant, but it felt like a compliment. At night, when I lay on that cot surrounded by makeup boxes, I'd think about my parents. Did they miss me? Did they care? Then I'd remember Mom's face, cold, unblinking, and the way Dad said, "Get out," and the anger would eat me alive again. One night, I dreamt I was back home. Dad was at the table, holding my old report card. He looked up at me and said, "You'll never be anything." I woke up sweating. My fists clenched so tight I'd drawn blood. That was the night I decided, if they ever saw me again, it'd be as someone they could never control. Over the next few years, I worked everywhere: hardware stores, call centers, insurance offices. Every job taught me something. Every rejection made me tougher. And every time I felt like quitting, I'd hear Dad's voice again, "You'll end up homeless." Well, he was half right. I was homeless, but not forever. 10 years later, if you told 14-year-old me that one day I'd be driving a Tesla, wearing a tailored suit and running my own business, I would have laughed in your face. But there I was, 24, CEO of a fast-growing sales agency in Austin. Clients loved me. I trained hundreds of reps on how to sell anything. People called me the kid with the silver tongue. Every time I closed a deal, I'd guess I learned something after all. Dad, but success doesn't erase scars. It just makes them quieter. One evening, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Normally I ignore those, but something in me said to pick up. "Hello? Ethan." That voice, soft, careful, almost afraid. "Claire?" "Yeah, it's me. 10 years. 10 years without a word. I didn't know whether to hang up or cry. Wow, long time. I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be calling like this, but things are bad, Ethan. Bad how? Dad lost the store. Mom's sick. They're not doing great. I didn't say anything. Just silence. Then she said, They want to see you. Maybe have dinner, talk." I laughed. It wasn't funny, but I laughed anyway. Now they remember I exist. Please, Ethan, don't do that. They were wrong, but you're still their son. That night I couldn't sleep. Every memory, every punishment, every insult came flooding back. But then I remembered how Claire used to sneak sandwiches into my room when I got grounded. How she cried when I was kicked out. She wasn't the enemy. So, I agreed. The dinner was at a fancy Italian restaurant downtown, the kind with dim lighting and soft piano music. I booked a private room. If they were going to meet me, they'd meet the man they threw away, not the broken kid they kicked out. I got there early, sat by the window. Then I saw them, my parents, older, smaller, weaker. Dad had gray in his hair. Mom walked slower, but the moment they sat down, I felt it. That same old tension, like the air itself, didn't forgive them yet. "You look successful." "I am. We're proud of you. Are you?" Silence. The waiter poured wine. None of us touched it. "We, heard about your company." "Sales something?" "Ethan Gray Consulting. I train and scale businesses. Built it from zero." "That's impressive." "Yeah, not bad for the kid who'd end up homeless, huh?" Her eyes dropped. "No answer. Ethan, please. They invited you to make peace." "Peace?" "They made war, Claire. They exiled me. You were out of control. We did what we had to do. I was 14. You kicked a child out because of a grade. You don't understand what it was like." "No, I understand perfectly. You wanted a trophy, not a son." The waiter awkwardly brought breadsticks. None of us moved. "Enough. We didn't come here to fight. Then why did you come?" "Because we need help." There it was. The truth. Not "we miss you," not "we're sorry," just "we need help." I sat back, nodding slowly. "Let me guess. Financial?" "The house. The mortgage." We fell behind. And with your mother's condition, stop. I leaned in, my voice calm, cold. When I begged you to let me stay, you said I'd learn from the streets. Ethan, well, I did. And the first thing I learned? Never help the people who pushed you into the gutter. Mom's lip trembled. Please, Ethan, she's sick. I love you, Claire. You were the only good thing in that house. But I pointed at our parents. They made their choice. For a moment, no one spoke. The room was silent except for the sound of my heartbeat and the faint piano outside. Then Mom reached across the table, her hand shaking. Ethan. We're sorry. Her voice broke, and for the first time in years, I saw a mother, not a judge. We were cruel. I thought pushing you would make you stronger. I didn't realize it was breaking you. It did. But I built myself back. She nodded, tears falling. Then maybe you don't need to forgive us, just don't hate us. I sat there watching her hand tremble. And suddenly I wasn't that angry kid anymore. I was a man who'd survived everything they threw at me. I don't hate you. But I don't owe you either. After dinner, I walked them out to their car. Dad tried to shake my hand. I didn't, Mom just whispered, take care of yourself. As they drove away, I caught Claire's eyes in the rearview mirror, full of sadness, relief, and maybe pride. And for the first time since I was 14, I felt peace, not forgiveness, just peace. Flashback, me, 14, standing outside that house, holding a trash bag. The porch light flickers. Dad's voice echoes. Maybe the streets will teach you. And now, years later, I whisper back to the memory. They did.